Terra Firma is unique in that it offers a training scheme to people from varying work and educational backgrounds. Terra Firma offers the scheme because it believes in homegrown talent.
The trainee program essentially involves many rotations throughout the firm. You get to work in the investor relation team, you get to work in the portfolio management team, in the finance team. Then you have also stints in the operations department and, of course, a big time in the deal team.
The trainee will also spend 2 months working with Guy Hands in Guernsey on the CIO rotation, and many of the trainees will say that that is actually the most fun part of the training scheme.
It's and unique. You don't get that in any other firm.
At the end of the 2 years, the trainee will have had a very valuable and unique insight into private equity at one of Europe's leading private equity firms.
For me, the purpose of private equity is to make better companies by using your role as being a private owner of a company and influencing the strategy, the way they manage the company.
Basically, I would say it's analyzing companies, investing in the right companies, turning those companies into better companies, and selling them at the right price.
You get to work on maybe a deal origination idea, and if that deal goes through, then you can follow through into the growth story of that company and also be a part of it, which I think is, it's really powerful and really rewarding.
I always really wanted to do something creative, where I can be a little bit of an entrepreneur. At the same time, during the summers I worked in investment banking, which I also really enjoyed. And for me, private equity was always the perfect mix of those two worlds.
You get to learn about how businesses are run, how important decisions are made, and how people think about the long term. You don't get that if you work in any other financial segments, either in investment banking or in fund management, for example.
I think ultimately the fact that Terra Firma has a training program is illustrative of their long-term view, the fact that they want to grow and develop not only their businesses but also the people that work for them.
The big draw for me for Terra Firma is the people, hands down.
You have a voice here and you're encouraged to use it, right from the interview.
My decision was made during the interview process because we were interviewing directly by Guy Hands and our CEO as well. And that was the only company that made an effort to do that.
With other firms, if you're a graduate, you get interviewed by, not necessarily junior people, but you don't meet the chairman. And when you see that these senior people are willing to make that kind of investment in you, I think you've got the right place to work.
If you want to kind of work in private equity, it's probably a really good idea to know not just how your job works, but actually how everyone else in the business is working on a daily basis, and that's what this scheme gives you.
The opportunity to be given that level of responsibility at this age, I think, is probably provides for the steepest learning curve.
Terra Firma is a brand name in private equity. It has an iconic chairman. Everyone knows about the firm. It's one of the major PE firms in the UK and in Europe. And so it's a brand name, everyone knows about it, and you really want to start with the brand name.
I've been primarily focused on some very exciting early stage commercial ventures in China.
On the kind of deal team side, I was working on a piece of work on originating some potential bolt-on acquisitions.
At the very beginning, after I started, I was involved with my team in the final stages of a live deal.
My first rotation was with our CIO and chairman, Guy Hands, and I was rotating with him for 2 months.
Putting together a lot of presentations, doing a lot of modelling. It's been a lot of long nights, but we have to present it to the GP and justify what we're doing. So it's been very hectic, but it was really interesting to get into the detail.
I've been involved mostly in financial analysis, but my work is directly impacting the investment decision in terms of the valuation and how we look at the return that we want to achieve for investors.
On the investor relations team, I had a part in creating our investor conference in Rome.
I work on the energy and infrastructure deal team, And at the moment, we have 3 renewable energy businesses within the portfolio. And we've been looking at building them both organically and through acquisitions. But also we've been looking at, despite the headlines of deal droughts, plenty of new deals across energy and infrastructure industries and across the world as well.
I think the most important thing is willpower. You have to have the patience, you have to be willing to learn, take everything on board, because you will make mistakes.
Attention to detail is key.
You always have to have an opinion whilst keeping an open mind as well.
Being able to, I guess, know when you're wrong.
You need to be analytical, but not just in a purely numeric way.
Sometimes we just need to sit back and just be a sponge, basically, and soak it all in.
People management skills are really important.
How to work with delegating, how to take work from a superior and manage that as well.
The ability to learn independently.
Most of all, you have to just be quite driven, quite willing to work and diligent and excited about it.
Attending the Odeon board meeting in the new Swiss college facility. That was really cool.
Traveling to Australia.
You start off and you're always traveling all over the place. You're seeing different businesses. You work with very, very different people.
We went to Rome for a conference, which was amazing. That was my first time in Rome.
The discussions are very lively and interesting.
For me, it's really like a very positive, surprise every day.
Been going around with our operational managing director, Lorenzo, to meetings with our portfolio businesses about how to devise their budget for the next year, and that's been absolutely fascinating.
The most fun part of the job is to really work on things that you're pretty sure that no one else has thought about.
It's that diversity of being involved in every aspect that I love.
I would say that no 2 days are the same.
Debating ideas.
An intellectual challenge.
I think it's the access to senior management.
Responsibility and diversity.
Passionate people.
It's all about the people.
Truly dedicated to making businesses better.
Intellectual, intense, unique.
You're always learning.